Your next course is a classic for us. This is one of the few courses that we do repeat throughout the year. This is acorn donuts with white chocolate potato mousse, 100-layer apples, and acorn miso with acorn miso oat crunch. All of this is topped with toasted amaranth seeds, which are part of the Lost Crops Project. It's a project that we support around the country, but here in town at Washington University with Dr. Natalie Mueller, these are crops that we know were enjoyed in the area thousands of years ago, and they're trying to bring them back as a viable food source for the region. So here we toast them and give a little smokiness and crunch to this dish. This is a couple things for us. This is our way of looking at indigenous foods, especially the role of the Osage people in the diet. But again, we don't feel that's our story to tell. And so we don't want to co-opt their story. We do bring in guest chefs every now and then who are indigenous, the most recent being Chef Freddie Bitsui, who was the executive chef at the Smithsonian Museum of the American Indian. That's our way of letting the indigenous people tell their story. But here we do lift a little bit of the burden as well, because what happened with a lot of indigenous food was it was stigmatized during the colonialization or the colonization of the region. Acorns are the best example. Acorns are a prolific food source. They're everywhere, and they were enjoyed by indigenous people for generations and eons. And when the European settlers came to America, all of a sudden there was this stigma placed on it, that was food for pigs. And so the indigenous people began slowly and slowly eating it less, to the point now that it's rarely seen as a food source, except a little bit in California and the West Coast. But I've served it for years. I've done it from the perspective of foraging because it's a nutrient-rich, plentiful food source. And it just takes a little information to know how to gather and to harvest and to prepare them. So here you get it in a couple different forms, well, 3 forms: the acorn donut, an acorn miso, and ultimately then that acorn miso is used in 2 ways, one with the oat crunch. If you have questions about how to process acorns, please let me know, and I would be happy to answer that. Enjoy.